You've seen it countless times in movies and TV shows. A character will get rabies and they'll just be foaming at the mouth and acting like that one guy from SpongeBob that gets pissed off when he sees chocolate. But rabies is much more than just foaming at the mouth. I was just doom scrolling on TikTok like I do every other night, where I saw a guy with late stage rabies and he couldn't even drink water. And if he even tried to take a sip, he would just start convulsing like a madman. So I ended up digging a little bit deeper, and what I found is that when you contract rabies, it won't show signs until you're in the late stages of it. And by then, you're already as good as gone. And this is absolutely horrifying. And in case y'all didn't soil y'all's britches already, I'm about to present y'all with two of the most fucked up cases of rabies I've found yet. The first one I found was back in 2021 when a guy named Nick ended up contracting rabies from a bat that bit him in his sleep. This was only 4 years ago. I thought rabies were just a complete thing of the past, where our modern medicine has completely just overcome it. But I am very mistaken. And also, this bat is a little bitch because he offline raided Nick. Nick was asleep, didn't have a chance to fight back. And this bat just comes in, swoops him, gives him a little nibble, and he's just done. Nick ended up finding the bat after he woke up, and he didn't go seek medical attention because the bat didn't seem sick of rabies or something, and Nick just assumed he would be fine. Hearing this, I don't know how you're supposed to combat rabies. Do you just go to the doctor every time you get a little nick on your wrist or a little bite on your toe? Doing this, you're gonna waste a ton of money at the doctor's getting a rabies shot every time you go. Or do you just go only when you think an animal has rabies and just gamble the other times you get bit or scratched? Either way, it's a lose-lose. I don't know how to stop it. Weeks later, Nick started to experience some symptoms like numbness, anxiety, trouble swallowing. These are all classic signs of rabies. But by then, once you start to show symptoms, it's too late for you. And despite all the efforts from the doctors, Nick shortly passed away. That story is just downright sad. You get bitten in your sleep and you think you're perfectly fine because the bat looked okay. Turns out the bat had rabies and you should have went to the doctors, but rest in peace, Nick. But at least Nick knew he got bit by the bat. He had a mark on his wherever he got bit, so he knew he got bit by something. As for the next guy, he wasn't as lucky. In 2011, a teenage boy in California died from rabies after being bitten by a bat while he slept in his cabin on a summer trip. The boy didn't even realize he was bit. It landed on his hand, bit him, but it didn't leave a clear mark. And because of no clear mark from the bat, the boy never mentioned it to anyone. From what I'm getting from these two stories, I think there's only two ways to get rid of rabies. A, never leave your house ever and make sure there's not a single bat in there. Or B, exterminate every bat ever to exist. And both of these rabies stories have both included bats because they're just like little airplanes of death. They're small, they're quiet, they're fast. They just swoop in, nibble you, gone like the winds. About a month later, the boy started to experience flu-like symptoms. Then it was followed by anxiety and trouble breathing. The doctors were baffled at first, but by the time they identified it was rabies, the rabies already made its way to his brain. Despite the attempts to save the boy using experimental techniques, he shortly died later in the hospital. And after hearing both of these stories, I don't think I want to be anywhere near a bat. If there's a bat, I will not be there. I'm just thankful I didn't know about this earlier, because years ago I went on a little trip to a cave with my family. The ceiling was covered in bats. And if I would have knew about, I guess like every bat has rabies or something, I would have been terrified. I would have went sprinting the other way. And I don't know if the tour guides are just schmucks and they just didn't care if some of the bats had rabies or what, but I'm gonna stop ranting about rabies because I can go on and on. But the moral of the story is, if you even get glanced at by a bat, bring your ass to the doctor, because that is better than just dying of rabies when it's too late, when it could have been hopefully prevented if you made it to the doctors in time.